What did you guys do? I was gone for a couple of days because I was moving. Then I opened up the charts again and I saw that we just went whammy baby all the way up. We have a lot to discuss in this video, so I'm right away going to dive in. Please guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, cool. Where did we bounce off from? Funny enough, from the trade where I said I'm not so sure about this. We have a golden pocket and underneath we have an SFP, also had 3 questions mark. That is from this low right here. That is where we bounced off, and so far we had a very good run to the upside, more than 10%, but it was a very annoying run to the upside because it was so damn hard to get in. I'm quickly going to look at the 5 minutes so that I can show you what I mean. Once we reached that level, and I'm going to take out this trade because we don't need it anymore, you can see here on the 5 minutes that we have these very equal lows here. It's very unusual to be a significant low. Usually you see that price is really wicking and then eventually we go higher, but for price to go flat and then to go higher as a significant low, that is actually very unusual. Also, when we reach this level, you can already see it here on Cipher B, and it's actually for most of the time frames we were actually very bearish. The money flow was still thick in the red, but there were a few time frames that showed bullish divergence, and yeah, eventually we also reclaimed that level, but you can see you needed quite some balls and patience for this trade to play out, because first of all we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles here, so that's 25 minutes, 30 minutes right here at the bottom. You're expecting another drop because yeah, we cannot go up in a matter of 25 minutes. Then we do go higher, and then we spend another 20 minutes here at that exact SFP level. So for me, when I saw this, I thought we're going to dump, and eventually we slowly grind higher. On top of that, this whole move to the upside, there was no backtest of a daily open, of a VWAP, previous day high, of any clear support and resistance levels. And the reason why I'm saying that is so annoying is because then it's very hard to get into the trade. You want to see a backtest, you want to see a retest, something that is clear as day, that has a clear defined risk level. Because if you see this, let me pull this down here for a second, if you see this move right here, where the hell do you go in with a correct risk management? Like, where do you put your stop loss? It is so hard to determine because now you just have this slow grind higher. You're actually just waiting for a higher low to get in and then to trade it to the upside. Stop loss goes underneath the low, but that doesn't happen. Then on top of that, yesterday we had exactly the same kind of price action. Price goes higher, we're pumping up very early in the Asian session, then we have a retest that was also not to a very clear level. Yes, you could also of course draw a fib here and say it was on the 0.5, but we did not reach the golden pocket from the absolute low to the high. It was a little bit on top of these highs, but yeah, there was actually just not a whole lot. Then we just slowly grind higher, and now we are where we are, 65k. With that being said, I'm going to clear the chart, and I'm also right away going to give you my bias, and that is that I flipped bullish because of this price action. I am quickly going to take out the trades because we need to do some redrawing. My absolute preferred level here from this golden pocket, from 57,500 to 58, it is out of the window. We had our bounce now. Matter in fact, I think that the monthly low, so the low for October, is in. And I think from now on every retrace is a long opportunity because the way that this is structured. Would we go lower again to visit this low right here that we put in, these ugly lows that I just told you? I think we're going to take out the whole bunch and then it is game over. For now, I think, like I said, the low is in. Reason for that is also the following. If you look at the monthly, and then I will quickly take the drawings out, then you can actually see that this is actually very nice. Just purely based on candle structure, you have your candle, then you have a lower low, and then this is high. So this is actually a perfect textbook kind of low. And then on top of that, this monthly candle that we are in right now from October, it went down and it hit here that monthly level. So that is where 2 monthly candles have a sticking point. You have that on a monthly, you can also have that on a weekly, a daily, whatever, but it was exactly that monthly level, and then we went higher. Like I said, I was really hoping for the golden pocket, but we didn't reach it, and then eventually we slowly went higher, and now we are where we are. So this candle structure right here on the monthly, it looks super good, and also for the month of October we are already in the green, so I think October is back on the menu. If we then look at the weekly, then you can actually also see that this so far actually looks pretty good, and I've already said many times before is that I think that this low is in. I think we do not go lower than the 49.48, and also that this top right here that we created can be a quick liquidity fest once we are going to take out some highs. Well, this is going to be very interesting, because if we're zooming in here on the daily, by the way, you can still see that we are nicely respecting that kind of trumpet idea. Okay, quickly then to the daily. This is actually very interesting what happened yesterday. So we have this high right here all the way in the left, slightly lower, slightly lower, slightly lower, slightly lower, and then this one is slightly lower. However, yesterday on Bybit we took out the highs from this point right here. So on Bybit we took it out, but we did not take it out on Binance and also not on the CME. So it would not be too crazy to think that we might go higher again to take this out. And I'm afraid that if we are afraid, actually, if you are bearish, then it's afraid, but I'm afraid that if you're going to take out this high, then actually it goes very fast, because then the liquidity run of all of these highs can happen, and then I think you can have all-time highs very, very, very soon. Also, with that being said, because I draw the conclusion for myself that it is most likely that the monthly high, the monthly low is in, that we are closing now above that macro point of control. I've already said a couple times, the next time we close above, I flip my bias. That has happened. We have also closed above this high right here. That was here at 65. The point of control came now in a little bit lower. It was first around at 65, but it doesn't really matter. We closed above the point of control, we closed above this daily candle, and therefore I said I'm flipping my bias once that happens. Yes, it's a huge bummer that I didn't get the trade from this level because I was waiting for lower, but it is what it is. You need to flip your bias once that is necessary, and for now I think every retrace is a long. And again, once we start losing this low, then I think it's game over and we're going pretty much to zero. Other than that, for now I think the big bull run can start. It would also be in line with October being green in general, and yeah, it would also be in line of getting a broader move for not only Bitcoin but also for the altcoins to the upside. Before I'm going to draw in my shorts and my possible long trades, I also quickly want to go over market Cipher B, because this also confirms my bullish scenario. Let's first look here at the weekly. I mean, this just looks super strong. We have the RSIs close to each other. That signals strength. Money flow fat in the green, momentum wave pointing to the upside. This is not going anywhere anytime. The monthly so far actually also looks good. You see that the VWAP is rolling over. It still needs a couple of months before it can put in the money flow. That's why you don't see it. It's just missing data. If we then zooming into the 2-day, then you can see that this actually also looks super sexy. You want to have that money flow really curving. You can see also the VWAP is curving. The momentum wave is higher. The RSIs are higher. This just looks super good. Then we have the daily. I mean, hello, this is almost exactly the same as the monthly. Up. Everything is just up. So yeah, don't be afraid if you suddenly have a red day, but I think, like I said, the bottom is in. Then let's quickly look at the 8 hour. There you go. Looks relatively good. VWAP inward curve. RSI is still pretty high. This could roll over maybe the next day or two to cool down a little bit, but overall I think actually this looks super good. Also here on the 4 hour you can see that these humps here on the money flow are getting less and less, and that these humps here on the green money flow on the 4 hour are getting bigger and bigger. So now I'm actually also expecting a pretty big hump on the money flow here on the 4 hour. And then of course here we have the 1 hour. This is a super tight trigger wave, and so far you do have some bearish divergences on the 1 hour, but like I said, yeah, most of the other indicators like money flow is still fake, RSIs are high up. I think we should not be all too worried about this. So also the indicators are saying we are probably going higher, and of course we also have the elections coming up. Usually that is a bit more volatility. Traditionally, if you look at the historical data, you also see that October, November, December also just better months. And again, we already closed above the point of control. We close now daily candles above these two critical levels. I think it is fair enough to say that we are going higher from here, and every retrace is a long. Okay, then the trades, because yeah, what could be then possible trades? We're just trading what is ahead of us, level by level, trade by trade, as I always say. I am really looking out for something more locally, because if this is really bullish, the chances of us now going lower to the golden pocket from this low that we put in that was not so happy with to this current high, yes, it is nice because you are taking out this weekend low here that we put in, then into that golden pocket. You can also then right away form maybe a bullish divergence on lower time frames. There's no way you can get it here, but on lower time frames 100% I will take this trade, but I'm not so sure if we would even get there if this is so bullish and price wants to go higher, because what is the most annoying bull run is when it is super hard to get in, like these two big moves that we already had. So that bigger move from here, right, that was Thursday leading into Friday, and then here this was the Monday. It was so hard to get into. That is actually when the bull market is ripping the most, because technical traders like me are then kind of standing on the sidelines and waiting for a retrace, waiting for a good confirmation, and it's just hard to get in with a proper risk management and a proper way to structure and frame your trade. But again, if we would get that level 61,500 is the golden pocket measured from this low to this high, 100% I'm taking the trade. But like I said, most likely we will not get that. Then another one, let me see, what shall I do? Shall I just keep this in? Yeah, keep it in. Another long could be from this low to this high, so that is the weekend low, right? So we're not taking out the weekend low and we're just coming back here to this golden pocket, because what are you getting then? You're getting also a retest of not only these highs but the golden pocket and the value area high of this bigger trading range that we already put in since mid of August. This would be also a super juicy trade. You do need to put your stop loss underneath this low, so keep it there. It's a little bit of a bigger stop loss than I wanted to, but if it is really bullish, I actually do not think that you're getting a deep retracement into the level. So you would do something like this. Your stop loss is 2.5–3%. Like I said, that's usually relatively big for me, but I actually do not think that you go much lower. So you could even say I'm putting it here underneath the 78.6, so your stop loss goes to approximately 62,500 and you get in at 63,500. Get in 63,500 ish or 63 ish, right? It's a little bit of an area, the golden pocket, value area high, these highs. Really look at smaller time frames, 5 minutes, 15 minutes before you enter the trade, and put your stop loss just a little bit lower, just underneath that 78.6, just in case we're getting a bit of a wick, whoop, whoop, that you do not get stopped out. And then you put your stop loss at the 62,500 ish, or you do textbook, you keep it underneath this low, depending on whatever you prefer. Is there also even something more locally to be made? Yeah, but now it's getting actually pretty tricky, because then you need to zoom in to the 1 hour, and then you will need to see if you can take something like this where price goes down, and then whoop, that was the wrong tool, where price goes down and then maybe a back test of this high. That could work out, but then again, where do you put your stop loss? Maybe underneath this low, or we make a local range here and then eventually we take out the low and then go higher. This would also be something that I would really prefer, because then you can take it as a sweep of these lows, stop loss underneath that wick that we then create, and then to go to the upside. It is a little bit harder because first you need to create a range and then you also need to take the liquidity. However, these kinds of trades usually give you a major risk to reward, because you put your stop loss underneath the low of the wick. So that's usually only like 0.5, max 1%, and that's it. So you have a very tight stop loss, and then you can just ride it to the upside. So then right away you can also increase the size of your trade to still keep your regular risk to reward ratio. So that could be super nice, but like I said, it's a little bit more tricky, and you of course also first need to create a local range and have a sweep of the liquidity that's then being created, and that will still take many hours for us to create before we can even talk about such a structure. But I already just want to look ahead of what can we trade. Another option would be to take out the liquidity above, so that's from this high, because like I said, we did not do it on every exchange, and also on the CME and here on Binance we didn't hit it, but that will be then a sweep of that liquidity. Bloop. There you go. I'll also make it fat for you. That will be from 66,500 and then to go lower. This would for me be a scalp, because like I said, I expect that the low of the month is in. So if you take the short as a sweep of those highs, then I will take the trade, right away trying to move stop loss to or after entry, trade it to the downside. Then of course you need to readjust the fib retracement that I just put in, and then try to take longs from one of these levels that I just put in, and that will then be the swing trade. Yeah, so the long trades are the swing trades for now, and the shorts will only be a scalp, and that is the only thing right now that I'm looking at. I've locally, other than that, I think I would not take anything else. So just a sweep of the longs, and if else, maybe if we form a structure, then the local golden pocket with a backtest of the value area high and these local highs. Let me quickly put it back in so that you can see it. Yep, there you go. And then of course we have the long from that golden pocket, taking out the weekend lows 61,500 ish, but this is already a pretty deep retracement. Most likely you're not going to get it, so you need to play this very locally. Before I am signing off, also actually want to tell you something, is that I actually took a trade the other day, and that was a short. Here we go, because I always update you on Twitter. It was a short from a backtest previous day low. So we lost the previous day low, and then I took the short for Bitcoin, and that was actually this area right here. Where are we? That's this area right here, before we had the bounce to the upside, like I said, from the area that I did not find so likely. There was this move right here. It was a very clean backtest of previous day low. Then we moved 2% lower. You can also see it. And I took a profit there at the monthly level once I saw that price was holding up, and I only took half out and let the other half ride. I was ready to close the other half at the golden pocket to then fully rotate into long. That never happened, and the remainder got stopped out at break even. So complete transparency here, as you can see what kind of trade I took. Other than that, there was no other trade for me here on BTC, and now I'm just eager to get into longs, and I am completely flipped my bias to bullish. And I think we can go much higher from here. From now on, like I said, I treat every retrace as a long opportunity. If we are closing a daily underneath this, I will flip my bias again to completely bearish, but we are not there yet. That might still take a very long time. Matter of fact, I do not think that we're going to see these levels again. That will be it for now, guys. That will be it for BTC. I will upload more videos about different topics very soon. Altcoins, educational content, yada yada yada, the whole shebang. So keep an eye out for that. If you don't want to miss anything, then please do me a favor by liking and subscribing, clicking on the bell, clicking also so you don't miss anything. And also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. As you can see, I post on Twitter the trades that I take, and then you can be updated there. Thank you guys so much. See you in the next one. Bye bye.